Yeah, the question I asked was, is there any way to draw teenagers into the line of meditation? Kids
Yeah.
listen to us and so do adults, but getting teenagers interested seems to be a challenge. I faced this with my some of my family members. Initially, they will come, but after some time, they lose the interest, and what to do. Simply sitting for so much long time is not possible. I mean, 2 3 days they'll sometimes they also get some good experiences, but they are not encouraged to do every day with commitment and discipline. So I thought, is there some way to keep them engaged and keep them do the practice regularly?
I try to give the answers based on Swamiji's teaching or Swamiji's discussions and whatever Swamiji has said while answering questions of devotees. Okay, I try to derive all my answers from Swamiji's words or Swamiji's answers. Okay, wherever possible. So even this answer is also from Swamiji. Okay, and I'll try to put it in his own words, ma. So just listen to this. I mean, of course, he spoke it in Telugu. No? He said it in Telugu. Actually, the exact same question was asked by a devotee, who was also a parent like you. I'm not a parent. I don't have children, but let me assure you that I understand from where you are coming and then why you asked this question. As you explained.
Yeah.
So the question that was asked was, Swamiji, what can parents do to bring children into the spiritual life? Okay. I mean, this may not be the exact words, but I remember the question and the answer, so that's what I'm telling you. So Swamiji replied in Telugu, తల్లిదండ్రులు అడ్డం రాకుండా ఉంటే చాలు, పిల్లలు వారంతట వారే ఆటోమేటిక్గా స్పిరిచువల్ లైన్లోకి వస్తారని చెప్పవయ్యా. Did you get it, ma? See, the answer that Swamiji gave to the devotee was, it is sufficient or enough if the parents don't come in the way of the children. Okay, the children will themselves come on to the spiritual path. Please tell them this, is what Swamiji told me, because I was translating. Okay, is that clear?
Oh, okay. So, what does it mean actually?
Okay, I'll just explain. Huh?
Okay.
Okay, to explain this, I would like to take the example of a story that Ramakrishna had narrated once. I mean, it actually happened. It's an incident that happened with him. It seems one morning he was just going out into the fields early in the morning. It was still a little dark, and a devotee was accompanying him. I think most of you may know this story. A devotee was accompanying him, and all the way, on the way, as they were crossing some plants and all that, probably a little water or a canal or something like that, they heard a croaking sound, as if a frog was croaking loudly and repeatedly. So they could make out that it is croaking in agony. But they just went their way, and in a few minutes they were returning back to the ashram. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa still heard that croaking, the frog was still croaking. So it was still dark, they couldn't see anything. But Ramakrishna told the devotee, it looks like it's a water snake which has caught a frog and is trying to swallow it. Okay. Had it been a cobra, the frog would have died after 3 croaks. And there wouldn't be any croaking after that. Okay. Now, when we were going this way, the frog was croaking, and we are now returning after a few minutes, and the frog is still croaking. So it means that it's a water snake. It is unable to swallow the frog, but it won't leave the frog either. So the frog is croaking, the snake is also struggling. They are both struggling with each other. Okay. Having said this, it seems Ramakrishna again made a comment saying that the guru should be like a cobra snake. Do you understand, ma? In a few moments, I'll explain to you why I have brought in this story. Okay, I think it will be clear to you. This is exactly what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa told the devotee. Had it been a cobra snake, the frog would have died after 3 croaks. So the croaking would have stopped. Why would it have died? Because of the poison, right? The cobra has poison. So the poison will first kill the frog and then the snake will simply swallow it. Okay. Now, the way I interpret this, I mean, the statement that a guru should be like a cobra snake, not like a water snake, is that the guru should have the power to kill the ignorance of the devotee in a short while, quickly. Okay. So the frog in this comparison is not the devotee. It's not that the guru takes the life of the devotee. No. The frog is the ignorance of the devotee, and the guru should have the power to kill that ignorance within a very short time. Otherwise, what will happen is, I mean, in actual life, between a guru and disciple, if the guru is not a really accomplished guru, who can show the path really, but if he is a fake guru, right? Like we have so many gurus now, what will happen is the guru and the disciple will keep on arguing. The guru will not be able to convince the disciple, but the guru wants the guy to be his disciple. So this fight will continue like that. Okay, so this is a story that Ramakrishna told him. Okay, now let us come to Satyaraju, who is our Swamiji, right? What was his age when he was made to sit in tapas?
Teenager.
Yeah,
14 years.
14 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was at age 14 when he was a teenager that he was put into tapas.
Yeah.
Now come to Narendranath, Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda. When did he first visit or first become a disciple of Ramakrishna?
Yeah.
At the age of that, his age was 19 years.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
Vivekananda was also a teenager when he was brought into the spiritual life. I mean, he had interest in the spiritual life, like all children
Yeah.
have, right?
Yeah.
But he was, I mean, after coming to Ramakrishna, we all know that his life entirely changed, right? Okay, so that is
Yeah.
the second example.
Okay.
All of us know the story of Ramana Maharshi. What was his age when he changed his life and became a saint? He became a sannyasi. Again, a teenager.
Yeah. Teenager. Yeah.
Okay, ba? So the basic question: can teenagers be drawn to the spiritual line? We have excellent examples. Satyaraju, Swami Vivekananda, Ramana Maharshi, and you will find plenty of others.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is, if a naughty guy like Satyaraju had to be dragged into the spiritual line, it needed a guru like Lord Shiva. You get the point, man? And if Narendranath, you know how intelligent that guy was, how brave, nobody could stand in front of him. Nobody could argue with him, right? Even at that age, when he was just a teenager. But to bring him to the spiritual line, you needed somebody like Ramakrishna. An ordinary guru couldn't have done that. I mean, actually, we know that he tried to test a lot of gurus. All of them failed. Every guru who came to his house was asked by Naren, "Did you see God?" So this guy would give a very vague explanation. God, we cannot see him. It's not a physical form. So some nonsense answer they will give. Okay. I mean, it would be true as per the Vedas and all that, but ultimately the guru wouldn't have seen the God. Okay. It was only Ramakrishna who said, "Yes, I saw God." So this guy was shocked. Okay. Then he asked, "Can you show me God?" He said, "Of course, yes." "Then please show me." He said, "You come to Dakshineshwar. Only there I can show you." Okay. So that's the way Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had to drag Naren to the spiritual line. And then there are several other incidents which show us, how the guru has to gobble up the ignorance of the disciple for the disciple to become a real useful saint, Right? So I'm giving you two examples. Satyaraju, Swamiji himself, and Swami Vivekananda. Okay, ma? So if you are anywhere in that level of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Lord Shiva, you can try bringing teenagers to the spiritual life. Okay? Otherwise,
Okay.
just leave them alone. Let them answer all the questions in the quiz, and they will come to the spiritual life. Okay?
Okay, Anna, good one. Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, actually, in the spiritual line means I meant to Swamiji only. Of course,
Of
I'm
course, of
no.
course. Yeah. Okay.
I,
No, ma,
at
again,
least I
see,
could be a
see.
mentor to guide them to the right path, because there are so many other things going on in the world. So
Ah,
I don't want them to get deviated with or diverted with other small things. You always want the best for your children. So I thought,
I know,
let
ma, I know
them.
that. I
Yeah,
know that.
the
Okay.
purest thing is the one we aim for them.
Yeah.
So that's why of course, yeah, as you said, 100%. I also agree that I should. That's what I've been doing. Also, I just leave them to decide.
Yeah.
Swamiji, when Swamiji can bring people like us who are so with buddhus like us, he can bring me. He can bring kids also. So I'll leave it to Swamiji and to the children.
Please, please. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Again,
Anna.
no, no, let me again repeat that this is not my answer. Okay. This
Yeah,
is
yeah, sure,
Swamiji's
sure.
answer. So it is my duty. I mean, I consider it my duty to honestly convey Swamiji's answers to questions from Swamiji's devotees. Okay. So that's
Yeah,
the reason
okay.
I do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, see, if he has given an answer, then it has to be the right answer, right? I mean, we have to correct ourselves, or we have to try to understand his answer rather than moving away from that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
sure,
that I
Anna.
consider is
Understood.
my duty. You know, how do we convince people, or
Hmm.
how do I understand his answers, and then how
Hmm.
do I convince others about why how Swamiji's answers are correct? Okay, I try to
Yeah.
do that. Okay,
Okay.
I mean, there's no intention to insult you or hurt you or offend you in any way. It is Swamiji's answer. It's my duty to convey it to you. Okay, ma? And
Sure,
then,
Anna.
no, I do see these examples, Amma. You know, there are several reasons, you know. Recently, I was in Adivarapeta, you know that. Then, again, there was a devotee of Swamiji. She is a third generation devotee of Swamiji, and she has two sons, both of them very active, very interested in this line, and they both have now actually learned harmonium. You know, it is very unfortunate that they live in uh, a very small town in Andhra Pradesh where they are unable to get the bandwidth because they live behind a hill and then the signal is blocked there. Otherwise, I would have allowed them to take a very active part in all these programs. Those two children, okay, both of them are teenagers now. Okay, so I asked them to come to the ashram, and this mother was afraid that if they come to the ashram and then create some nuisance there, everybody will be angry at the children, also angry at her. So she didn't want to come. She didn't want to bring her children to the ashram. No, I had to force her, saying that no, this is the only opportunity you have. Please come over. And finally, she did. She brought both her children. She was very afraid that everybody will scold her and all that. Actually, what happened was people started asking her, how come your elder child was so very naughty and he has become so calm now? He has become so quiet now. And they were very happy, you know. They came to the Adivarapeta ashram. They learned the bhajans. They participated in all the programs. Finally, the younger one, he started getting trance while they were at Adivarapeta. Okay, this actually happened at Adivarapeta in this March, the last March itself, 3 months ago. Okay, so I mean, again, see, it's it's not any bad intention on the part of the mother. It's only the fear, you know, that maybe the others will get offended by her children. So she's trying to stop those children. Okay, but those guys, I mean, they're so smart, they're so active, they're so interested in learning about Swamiji. They have learned the keyboard, and they asked me to teach them the harmonium. Within 3 4 days, they learned about playing 4 songs on the harmonium. Okay, so I do see some examples also, but to support Swamiji's answer. Okay, so I do encourage all parents to take this advice of Swamiji, but we should encourage their questions. We should try to find the answers rather than silencing them. We should give them the freedom, okay, to read, to ask questions, to talk to people, and to learn. Okay? Yeah.
Got it, Anna. Sure, yeah.
Please. Huh?
And another thing I felt is that we can also, instead of telling them or advising them or doing any action, we just
Huh?
be consistent in our sadhana. By seeing us, they will at least start thinking, why is it that our parents are so attached to this discipline, and what is it that's giving them that that level of energy or that level of involvement in this particular activity? It will be a question for them, and so I think
Yeah.
they'll seek answers for it. That's also a good way to inspire them, by ourselves being disciplined in front of them
Yeah.
and doing the sadhana in front of them. Yeah, that's
And
one
then,
thing we can do as
yeah,
parents. Yeah.
I also heard a trainer, people who train others, right?
Yeah.
Psychologically, I mean, right? I mean, counseling parents or something like that. So that guy was saying, I mean, this is just a WhatsApp message, I think, What he says was, children do what the parents do.
Hmm.
Children will not do what the parents say.
Yeah.
You understand, ma?
Yeah,
So
I understand
you
that.
ask them to meditate, but if you don't meditate, they won't.
Hmm.
Instead, you meditate, they will see you and they'll start meditating.
Yes, Anna.
Okay.
Got it.
Now that
Yeah.
behavior may be different. I mean, may actually change as they become teenagers, right? I
Hmm.
mean, we all
Yeah.
know there are so many
Hmm.
changes once you become a teenager, right? But then that's the phase, where you define your life, right? Define your path.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are very fortunate to have Swamiji as our guru. Okay. So the children also have the opportunity to come to Swamiji, learn about Swamiji and all that. We should be able to only guide them. That's all. We should
Yes,
not
Anna.
block them. So that is what Swamiji
Yeah.
was saying. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sure, Anna. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Again, but see, again, what I try to do is, if there is an opposite, what shall I say, opinion, view, or answer that Swamiji has given, I try to convey that also. So actually, your question reminded me of another incident that happened. Okay, so let me share that also. This happened at the Hyderabad ashram, not the current ashram, but there was an ashram given to Swamiji about 30 kilometers from Hyderabad, in a place called Shamshabad. Now, Shamshabad was a town, and then close to the town, there was a small village called Golapalli. So actually far away from the village, and it was a very wonderful ashram. We all enjoyed visiting that. So a devotee by the name of Lakshmi Kantamma, she was a member of the parliament, I think for 3 terms. Okay. So she gave that land and a little building to Swamiji there. So one devotee, Swamiji arranged for one devotee from Andhra to come and live there and then take care of the agriculture there. Not much, there was a well, a little bit of water, and so they were doing that. Then there was another devotee. I mean, I don't want to take names. I know the names, but for obvious reasons, I don't want to take names. So there was another devotee who had come to Swamiji at Adivarapeta, and he asked to be initiated into tapas. Okay, Swamiji initiated him and asked him to do the tapas. But for some reason, he got disturbed. He couldn't continue his tapas at Adivarapeta. Then Swamiji asked him to come over to the Hyderabad ashram. So that was also a very remote place away from the city. Okay, and to come to Hyderabad and go back, you will need a whole day actually. There is, I mean, you have to actually walk for 4 kilometers to catch a bus or anything, and then travel 30 kilometers to Hyderabad, and then again in the evening you have to catch a bus, come there, again walk. Day or night you have to walk. In the night there are no lights, nothing, you cannot see the road, but you have to walk 4 kilometers to reach the ashram. This was the situation. Okay. So this devotee was also brought to Adivarapeta by Swamiji. Swamiji asked him to come there, and Swamiji came there. And Swamiji told him, see, here also it's a very isolated place. Only one guy is taking care of the ashram here. So you live with him and you continue your sadhana. Okay, by the time, by the next time Swamiji came there, you all know that Swamiji used to go to Hyderabad ashram every Vinayak Chaviti, right? So the next time Swamiji went there, I was also there. I had gone to help Swamiji, with all the activities. Then both these boys were there. In those days, they were both boys, even I was a boy, okay? So the guy who was managing the ashram, he gave a complaint about the other guy, saying that on certain days, this guy simply disappears. He goes away to Hyderabad and then he comes back late in the night or something like that. So he doesn't do the duty that is assigned to him or some sort of a complaint like that, which we generally see between boys, right? So this complaint came to Swamiji. Okay, so Swamiji was trying to explain to that guy, you came here for a certain purpose. Why do you go into the city? Your mind will get distracted. Don't go there. Continue to remain here and do your sadhana. Lakshmi Kantama, who was there, by that time she was an aged lady. She was actually older than Swamiji, by probably 10 years older than Swamiji. Okay. So this lady was there. And after those two boys were sent away, this lady asked Swamiji, Swamiji, he is a young man, he is a young boy. They have so many interests. How can you force them to stay in the village and not go to the city? Maybe he has gone there to watch a movie or something like that and do something, spend some good time in the city and then come back. Why cannot you allow him to do that? See, this is why they cannot remain like old people, they are youngsters. So they have lots of desires. They go out and then they move and then they watch movies and all that. So how can we object to that? Immediately Swamiji said, yes, that is true. This line, meaning the line of devotion, the line of dhyan, meditation, is a path generally chosen by the old people. You are right. But then why did he choose this path? If he is not interested in following the rules, why did he choose the path? This is the answer that Swamiji gave. Okay. So again, I'm trying to make 2 points here, right? One is, yes, this path generally is taken by people who are aged, okay, who have retired in life. They don't have either interest or the energy to participate in any other activities. So they choose the line of bhakti, meditation, and all that. But those of us who have chosen the path much earlier in life, we should have the discipline to follow that. Okay, so both these points Swamiji made. Clear?
Yes, Anna. Yes, I
Okay.
think I felt maybe Swamiji is asking the children to take responsibility for their decision. Like,
Exactly, ma.
yeah, that's what he's trying to
That's
stress.
right.
Yeah.
So far as I know, right, everyone who has been made to do tapas, meaning serious sadhana, right, they had come and begged Swamiji to be initiated into tapas. Swamiji has not forced anybody, not a
Hmm.
single person to do tapas. He asked everybody to do the meditation 1 hour a day. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Hmm.
if somebody had done longer duration of meditation, then he wanted to dedicate his life to that spiritual path, and he came to Swamiji. He begged Swamiji to be initiated into that path, and that is when Swamiji did that. Now, having done that, the guy should have, I mean, the disciple should have the commitment to continue on that path. Otherwise, there is no use for that. But again, see, these two are two distinct things. What I am trying to convey is, yes, this path is meant generally for the aged people. So it's not that youngsters are naturally drawn there. But when we have a guru like Ramakrishna, when we have a guru like Shivabalayogi, yes, youngsters will be drawn into this line. Okay? Actually, I keep saying this again and again. I am so surprised, so pleasantly surprised to see so many youngsters being interested in learning about Swamiji, doing Swamiji's activities, getting involved in the mission work. It's simply wonderful. So many of them are there, okay? Some are devotees' children, some are new people. They are youngsters. They have so many things to do in life. They do that probably, but they are also dedicated to Swamiji. They do a lot of service to Swamiji. So I only thank Swamiji for uh, making such devotees available so that we can carry on the mission. Okay, of course, with his help. He is the one who does it. We are just the instruments in his hands. But it is so wonderful to work along with these devotees, who are youngsters, full of energy, but still they want to work for Swamiji's mission and they get things done. Okay, we have so many of them with us. I am really thankful to Swamiji.